Good morning, everybody. Today we're at Bishopwearmouth Cemetery again, this time at Ward 4cc, which I think is one of the most interesting sections, just close to the main road. Well, the main road, I say the road through to Hilton Road from Chester Road, so it's quite easy to get to, and there's lots of interesting stories in this particular section. I know a few of these, so I've written stories about them in the past, so let's have a look. This one is an affectionate remembrance of their beloved children of Abraham and Elizabeth Batty. And look at that, Abraham, Margaret, Jane, Thomas, William, M.H. Pennick, Margaret Ann. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 children there. I think the oldest looks about, some of them lived here. It's about 20-year-old, I think, there. How hard it is to part with those we hold on earth so dear. The heart no greater trial knows, no sorrow more silence. And the mother, she lived till October 10th, 1899. And then Abraham, he could live to a good age, 82 years, died in 1907. So that's... Now, I think this person was probably the most famous person buried in this section. This shame this one is destroyed because he's a well-known Sunderland author and poet. That's John Green, author and poet, died 13th of April. I think it's 1899. He died, I think, at Lime Street, and it's a shame. You can actually still buy his book. I think it's called Tales of Wearside Ballads. And if you Google his name, you'll find some cartoons of him as well. Have a look over here. I'm not too sure which religious section this is, whether it's a non-conformist or Anglican. In memoriam of Marion Moore, relict of the late Captain William Moore, who died April the 6th, 1879, aged 57 years. Also of the above William Moore, who died in Calcutta, February the 1st, 1865, aged 46 years. I just saw another one for Calcutta, I'm sure. It mentions Calcutta. I'll have a look. I think that will have a story attached to it. Yeah, I just walked past one which mentioned Calcutta and somebody who was lost on a sea voyage. Lots of headstones in this section. Lots of stories. In loving memory of Alan Watt, the beloved husband of Isabel Watt, who was drowned in the SS Ottercaps, of which he was master for 25 years, and which was wrecked near Brest, France. When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee. That's, if you Google that, there's lots of information about that particular shipping tragedy. Lots of Sunderland men sadly lost their lives. And that particular boat. Look at this. Charles Headley, master mariner, beloved son of the above, who was lost on the island of Birikan on the east coast of Borneo, December 26, 1878, aged 43 years. Also John Headley, son of the above, who was lost in the Black Sea. And then there's Richard Headley, son of the above, who died on his passage from Bombay in 1866, aged 22 years. And then his grandson John died in London. That's the Headley family. Lots of links to tragedy there. This is an affectionate remembrance of the beloved children of William and M. Ferguson. Now, I've written about this family that came from Scotland to Bishopwearmouth, and if you look there, in 1877, in about, I think that's 3 months, consecutive months, they lost a child in 1877. Look, Hannah in September 1877, age 2, Robert in October 1887, age 4, and Alexander, who died November, he was 17, so they lost 3 children in 3 months. So that's 3 separate visits. I had to come up here to bury a child. There's just so many in here. Try not to miss any out. I've got stories that I know about. So each time you come, you'll always find something that you've never seen before. And there was one I wanted to show you. If I can bloody find it. Oh, this one over here. This is for Robert Smythe, the able and faithful parish schoolmaster of Polwarth, Berwickshire, from 1824 to 1873. So nearly 50 years he was the schoolmaster of this little village in the Berwickshire Scottish countryside. Now, if he hadn't come to Sunderland, he came to Sunderland after he finished working. His son was here, William, but his grandson was Edwin Smythe, who's the well-known monumental mason who did hundreds of. He's the one who does all those mosaic monuments that I've shown on some of these videos. This one you can't actually see it. I had a look at it before because somebody's just written a story about the people involved in it. It's hard to see there, but it's for members of the Wardle family in the Facebook group which are set up called the Gill Cemetery. Somebody's kindly done a story on this particular family because they have about 5 or 6 children, I think, buried at the Gill Cemetery, that long gone cemetery in the centre of what is Sunderland today. Not getting very far up here. Let me guess. Oh, and I think this family here, the Lindsley family, he came from Barnard Castle, which is my hometown. In affectionate remembrance of Forrester Lindsley, who died this life December 9th, 1875, aged 39 years. Also Hannah, another Hannah, Thomas, Forrester, Richard, and Robinson, Alison, Ada, children of the died in infancy. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gone, yes, he's gone. Whom we so dearly loved. His tender kindness we so often proved. Oh yes, he's gone. His happy spirits fled, and now he's numbered with the silent deer. And then Margaret, I think his grandson became a trade unionist. But they moved across to Sunderland, Sunderland Bishopwearmouth, via, I think, Hortley Spring. Over that way, a lot of people came from Barnard Castle over southwest Durham. And I'll show you another person from Barnard Castle. This is William Borrowdale, who was born at Barnard Castle on 16th of July 1845. And that was Elizabeth. That was his second wife. His first wife died, I think, either in childbirth or not long after. Yeah, look, in love and memory of Louisa, she was the first wife who died 5th of December 1874, and Thomas, their son, who died in infancy. I can't remember if she died first or second, but the stone was made by his own company. Well, his sons had set up their own business later on when he packed in, and his family did thousands of memorials across Sunderland. Originally the Borrowdales had come to Barnard Castle from over in I think it was over like the Appleby area. Look at this. In affectionate remembrance of John Hall of 6 Bedford Street, Bishopwearmouth. I like it when they give you the address. Bedford Street is, I think it's a street probably where the Blue Monkey nightclub used to be on. It's that part of Sunderland. It's nice epitaph. Abide with me from morn to leave, for without thee I cannot live. Abide with me when night is nigh, for without thee I dare not die. That's a good Victorian name. Lettuce Hughes. That's Martin Hughes. Now I believe his first wife, he was 94 years old, I believe his first wife, I did a story about him. His first wife, I think, died in childbirth, and the child survived, but I think they had the funeral and the child's baptism at the same time at the Bishopwearmouth Parish Church. Ship owner. And this is a well-known one, and it's for little Cody, who died 21st February 1873, aged 15 months, the only son of Amotterson and Cody, natives of Jam, members of Tanaka Japanese. That was like a circus troupe type thing. This is the first Japanese monument erected in this country, so it's a historic headstone, that. If you just Google Cody Japanese Sunderland, you'll get lots of information on that. Is that Robert Kinmond, Master Mariner? Good Scottish name, Kinmond. So is Adamson. Lots of Scottish influence in Sunderland, or people. There's not most families, if you ever do the family tree, it's either grandparent or parents or great grandfathers were links to Scotland, or just a Scottish surname from somebody who came back in like the 1700s. This one, another Scottish surname, Sinclair. This was David Sinclair. I've written about him. He was for many years deacon of the Baptist Church, Sand Street, Bishopwearmouth, and was well known in this town as a visitor of the sick. It's Remembrance Sunday today, so there's probably a few people will be visiting to pay respects over at the big war section over there. There will be a big event in town. I think it's one of the biggest in the country. And Robert Robson, who died at Tatmagouche, October the 10th, 1853, aged 34 years. I don't know where that is. Tatmagouche, 1853. So there's another Scottish name, Cockburn. So possibly this is like a Presbyterian. There's a Thomas More of South Hilton, which is just a few miles up along the river. And a Denton there and a Denton there. Of 2 Egerton Street, which I think is just I think it's near Peel Street somewhere, just close to the city centre. Oh, it must be non-conformist. Let's look here. Memory of the Reverend John Lightfoot, Primitive Methodist minister. So this must be like the non-conformist, like Methodists, Presbyterians, Baptists. This is Sir William Laws Douglas, who died in 1881. Mentions a couple of his children who died there. So Henrietta died in November 1869, aged 3 years. Then they named another daughter to Henrietta, who sadly died in 1878, aged 3 months. Thy will be done. I always think you were tempting fate naming a child after a previous one, but sadly that case it was true. That's a nice surname. Riches. That must have some symbolism. Is it like wheat or something? I love this letter in here. This is like an old one. Oh, I'm glad I found this one. This is Jane Hengler, relict of Michael Hengler. Now, she was a lady who died at Somerford Place in the centre. She'd only been in Sunderland maybe a couple of years, but the husband was a well-known sort of like, what do you call it, tightrope walker who I believe had performed for Marie Antoinette. As a child, he got taken to France, so he learned French and he learned all the skills of one of the greatest tightrope walkers. So the family, I think Jane was born in Dublin, but the family went all across Europe, all over the place. So if you Google Hengler, her actual son was also involved. The whole family was involved in like circuses and things like that. And there's a Wetherspoons in Glasgow, something called Hengler, the Hengler Circus, something like that, and that's named after her grandson. So that's a little bit of history. Quite a mild autumn day. I'll try and fit one more in. Yeah. And this one, the last one, I could do probably spend an hour here, this was one of Sunderland's richest men, Digby Nelson, born in Darlton. He was a slater. Look at that. Quite a simple headstone, and obviously because he was a slater, I think he lived at Thornhill Terrace, we could not call you back below, though nipped in life, fair morn, for here the rose bud will not grow. Beneath the preserving, piercing thorn, to you a happy place is given. The bloom to fairer flowers in heaven. So that's one of the children there. But Digby Nelson, one of the richest men in Sunderland. So thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy this, please give it a like, and if you wish, click on the subscribe. Thank you.